We are live.
What's good?
Yo. So do you go or
Anthony?
Anthony? Okay, that was my guess.
Anthony.
Okay, perfect. We'll go with Anthony.
Well, welcome to the show, Anthony. Nice to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, welcome, man. Yeah, so welcome 21, Anthony. How you guys doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
Tired, man. My kids kept me up all night last night.
Oh, no.
Like I went to sleep at like 1 and then I was woken up at 1:40 and I got back to bed at like 5 and then I woke up at 6. So it was a fun night, man.
Yeah, I'm on the road, so I was scrambling last minute because I packed up all of my equipment to be able to do the show, but I forgot the actual power cord to my Rodecaster, so like none of it worked. So like I'm just freestyling it with AirPods and a fucking MacBook Pro camera. But it's still better than Mando, so we're good. I don't know what trash he's using, but Burn says he can hear me. So thanks for coming on the show today.
Mando's got the Telemarketer 4000 headset. It's really popular in Southeast Asia and the Indian subcontinent in the call centers. And I think he had a special ordered from there. So that's what Mando's rocking. He's gonna help me get one. I want to step my game down a bit.
That's funny.
Yeah, man. So I guess let's just start out by talking about Friend Tech for a minute. I guess first, Anthony, have you gotten into Friend Tech at all?
No, not at all. I mean, I obviously have heard about it, seen it. It just, I don't know. I've chased metas before, and I just decided not to chase this one. It's just, you can have fun with chasing a new thing, but for me, we've got a lot to focus on, a lot of real stuff to focus on at Bulls and Apes and Bulls on the Block, and I just didn't have the time to look into it.
Well, that's a good sign from a project founder, right?
Yeah, for sure. I knew that Friend Tech was going to rug me from the beginning. Now, Friend Tech didn't actually end up rugging me. I got rugged when I tried to actually offboard the ETH that I had on that chain, and so all the money that I would have made on Friend Tech is just gone. I keep trying to tell everybody that bought my keys to just floor them and get the fuck out because I'm not doing anything on the platform. But,
I did that without you asking.
Burn actually listed, so did OG. But I still have like 13 key owners. I don't know what's going on, but I think it's good for the space to go down this road of exploring what it would look like to have a social media aspect on chain. And it's interesting, but I just don't think we're there yet. And of course, because everybody that's still here is a bunch of degens, like we have to find a way to use it for, only making gains and probably not exactly what they meant it to be. And so how long does that meta last? Like you can already see like the explosion of like 3-on-3, like everybody buy in, hold each other's keys for the airdrop. That shit lasted like 48 hours and now everybody's like, oh well, that's over, like let's just, and everybody's prices are down like 98% from a key perspective. So
not everybody's
not everybody, but like the huge people that are in the space are going to be, they're huge influencers, of course they can benefit, but for it to work for everybody, I don't see that. So I know, Burn, you've been making some money on there, doing some trading, which has been beneficial, but I just haven't really had the time to put in the effort, really.
Yeah, I think I'm like up 4 or 5x on it. I'm up quite a bit, doing good. I got in early, and then like it went quiet, and like I was like, okay, this is dead. So I just sold everything, but I left it in there, and then it started picking back up again. So I was like, okay, I better grab an OSF key. So I grabbed that, and then it just took off. Right now, I'm only holding 3 though. I've got OSF, Mando, and Alien Queen, the 3 founders of Rec Guy, just because they're all dope. But really, Mando's room, I think he's spoken about it before several times, but So we tried the 3-3 thing, right? And it worked for, like you said, 48 hours. Prices shot up, and then everyone's like, "This isn't sustainable, right?" Because you can't have enough funds being generated to buy everyone's keys and just keep holding. And also, it's a game where someone's going to sell, and when that happens, everybody loses, or one party does bad, or most do. So now it's rotating to value-based rooms, like Mando mentioned, and that's why I'm in his room, because he shares his trades, and he's, in my opinion, one of the best traders in the space. And I'm trying to learn how to trade, so I'm on Rollbit doing leverage trades, but I can also just copy trade Mando for what I consider to be easy wins. Obviously, everything's not always going to win, but I think it's a good strategy for me. I'm not trying to pamp his key or anything. Really, for me, I want airdrop points, so that's why I'm one of the main reasons I'm holding as well.
What's Mando's floor at?
I think he's 0.81 or 0.82.
I mean, that's good value. I've always thought that Mando needed a mechanism to be able to share his trading, because he shares his wins, right, and his losses on Twitter, but he doesn't actually like call out anywhere like his actual trade. So that's good value for people that are in the room, as long as they take advantage of it, which I'm sure they probably are, or they're going to sell. But yeah, I mean, I hope the best for Friendtech. Obviously, it'll be a nice stimulus when the airdrop points happen, if they actually have value that you can sell out of. Who actually knows what that looks like with all the regulations right now? So y'all could be farming a bunch of points that really don't mean shit. Just FYI to everybody listening on the line, it is definitely a gamble.
And you know I like gambling.
I do know you are a degenerate. All right, let's move on and actually talk to Anthony. Anthony, we'd love for you to like introduce yourself, how you got into Web3 and crypto, and then introduce your project and what you've been working on.
Yeah, sure. So got involved in NFTs. Well, probably first looked into NFTs late 2020. I remember I had the idea that I was going to take my credit card and I was going to buy a bunch of CryptoPunks. I opened up my laptop and saw they were at, like, I don't know, 15 grand, 18 grand or something like that at the time. And I was like, holy shit, what the hell is this? I'm like, I closed my laptop, and I'm like, that's not for me. Yeah, I should have bought 10 of them at the time, but didn't. Then I started hearing, Mark Cuban, Gary Vee, and whatnot talking about it. And, I'm looking at it and it's like, okay, I get it. I get the decentralized aspects. I get tokenizing assets. This just makes sense. And you start thinking about, getting rid of like things like the DMV and having to wait to register your car and things like that. And it just made abundant sense to me. And so I was like, I got to get involved in this. Started getting involved, and then ultimately volunteered my time. I was working with Bulls on the Block back in the July of 2021, before kind of the founders all imploded on that project. But there was a lot of hype around Bulls on the Block, if you remember, and it was around the community wallet that made it special. There's 150 ETH in the community wallet, and I was like, I want to get involved in that. I want to try to grow that and have the community come together and really have a decentralized way of delivering, and that really pulled me in. And then with all the founder stuff going on there, I met a couple of other people, Manny and Guy, and the three of us were like, okay, if Bulls on a Block isn't working out, let's start our own project. Can we do it better? Can we bring business expertise to the table? We were pre-funded, so we were self-funded. We funded it ahead, so built out, really high-end 3D art, built out gamification. We dropped an ERC20 token within 30 days of our initial mint, which was May 31st, 2022. And had lore, we had chapters of lore that, all of the things we wanted to do, the things that a lot of projects back in 2021 were talking about, but never really got around to doing. And so we did that. And then we also, we want real world utility. And so we got deep connections in the VC world. So we started bringing VC deal flow opportunities. We've done about 30 deals now. SpaceX, Epic Games, Uniswap, OpenSea. So our community was able to invest in all of these companies because of our connections. And, we brought it in with anywhere from like $1,000 to $3,000 as your minimum investment. So really approachable, accessible ways to, start investing in pre-IPO companies, and, just bring in new opportunities to people that I know personally. Before, Manny's the one behind the VC connections. I didn't know that. I always thought it was for like the ultra rich, the ultra connected. And then, when he was like, no, you could get involved for like $3,000. I'm like, oh shit. I was like, we got to check this out. And now, no, I was like, we really got to, there's more people like me out there. We got to bring this to the community. This is a real world utility, creating new opportunities.
Interesting. So how does that work? So let's say I want to put $3,000 into SpaceX, right? You mentioned SpaceX. Does that go funnel through the project, or is it me directly investing?
It's you directly. So all we do is
good.
No, we have relationships with various syndicates, and so the syndicates pool the money together. They bring these opportunities, and all we do, it's through the Angel.co platform, and so we post a link, we post a write up about what it is, and then you as a community member, you have access to one of our Discord channels where these deals come through. You click on the link, you fill out all the paperwork, and you do it directly on the platform.
Wow, that's interesting. That is, I like that. I had no idea. I didn't know about this at all. So I think that's it's valuable utility.
And you think about it now, like a bull is 0.11, a 0.11 ETH. I mean, it's like stupid cheap. You buy a bull, you get access, even if you just want to invest in these VC deals, and that's it. You buy one bull and you get access to these deals. And we do about one a month. We've done about 30 so far. We and it's not just Web3, right? It's SpaceX. We did healthcare. We've done a couple of AI. There's been a bunch of different companies that we've brought.
Nice. Which collection is that? I'm just trying to pull it up on OpenSea.
The Genesis collection.
Okay,
Bulls and Apes.
Bulls and Apes Genesis. There it is. All right, and then I can share my screen. Yeah, man, that's interesting. I'm a low liquidity type of guy, but sometimes I do have liquidity. So that's interesting. I mean,
it's because you don't have an investment philosophy. You spend all of your ETH based off of emotional reactions to things. I like it because it's simple, right? Like you have this tie into Web3 through your your initial token offering through the NFT. And then it's just basically a gated Discord, and you guys basically do everything in the background, right? And then you present these deals to your members. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. So we have hundreds of deals that come across our desk, and we've got 5 key selection criteria that we look into. And is it backed by one of the big VC firms? Is it solving a real problem? Is it making money? Have the founders exited before? What's the moat look like? So 5 basic selection criteria, and then we go through all of the deals. We look at ones that look interesting. They're deals that we invest in ourselves also, so we're investing in it personally, and then we bring them to the community, and you get to choose if you want to invest in them or not.
And is there does each deal have like a minimum and maximum threshold for investment?
Oh yeah. So, and the minimum is usually between 1,000 and 3,000. We were able to negotiate low minimum investment, and then we also negotiate with our relationship is low carry rates. So the carry is when there's an exit. VC investing is risky too, right? So there's only 3 possible outcomes. It goes to 0, it goes IPO, or it gets sold, and your money is locked up until one of those 3 things happen. Right. So once you're in, you're in. It's the ultimate diamond handing. And so when there's one of the positive exits, the carry is the percentage that the syndicate gets. So let's say it's 12.5%. They get 12.5% of the profit. So the fact that we're able to negotiate down, usually they're in the 20s, we negotiate down into the teens. That's giving you more money if there's a positive outcome.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. I think turning your own, like you said, business expertise into kind of a Web3 project is something that's missing in the space, right? Like a lot of people that found projects have no business experience, and then they're kind of making it up off the fly, and that's when I feel like a lot of them get in trouble and take advantage of the communities that they built and just kind of try to make themselves money. but a project that's actually built on sound business principles and your guys' experience, that you can lend to your community, and let them, make decisions based off of that information, I think is great. I think that's a really cool use case for kind of Web3, and those people that are here to make money while gambling. But I feel like your guys' expertise in vetting, it's not a sure thing. Nothing is in VC.
No.
Like you said, VCs are gambling too. Like they're just at a different kind of level. But it's definitely, I think, a unique investment opportunity, which is really cool. Oh, the art is dope as well.
I've seen these around a lot. I've definitely seen the Bulls a lot.
Yeah, and we've got the God Apes. So we've also dove in pretty deep into the gamification. So gamified digital collectibles. We've got a number of campaigns that we've done. We're in the middle of a God Ape campaign right now. So just using our methane token, which is DRC20 token, they're able to play a game. There's 6 phases, and the God Apes are going to start being minted this Monday. And the sneak peeks have been sick. I mean, the art team is legit. That's for sure.
And does
Nice.
owning any different, like owning a God Bull versus an OG Bull, is there a different utility between the two of them?
So both of them get access to the inner circle and the DC deal flow, but they have different roles in the gamification. So the amount of methane that you earn, God Bulls have their own God box that you can open up and you can get different utilities, in-game utilities.
And what do you methane? So what do you use that token for? You said you're talking about a game that you can play, and does it take the methane token to play it?
Yeah. So when I say play the game, it's we have formulas and achievements, and so with the formulas you could combine different utility NFTs, and then use those, burn those, and then you get something else and you use that. So it's not like you're walking around in a game, but it's different different formulas that you can do. You might not be able to get it because you might not have the asset in your wallet.
Yeah, gotcha.
So then, if you notice on there, Bulls on the Block, I mentioned that's how I got started. We had the opportunity to acquire Bulls on the Block last November, and so Bulls on the Block is part of our portfolio as well now.
That puts a nice little bow on it for you, at least from a journey perspective, like being able to acquire the project that got you interested. That's really cool. Your horror story about CryptoPunks reminds me of my own. Back when CryptoPunks were 1 ETH, I was gonna cash out my Bitcoin and buy 60 of them. Me and one of my buddies, we were both gonna cash out and buy 60 CryptoPunks. But then back in the day, there was a Rarible and there was a Rari token, and CryptoPunks were just being used to wash on Rarible to gain this token. And I was like, I'm not really down with a community that's just trying to wash these on Rarible to gain financial incentive through this Rari token that was being airdropped, because I didn't understand anything about the space at that time. And so I missed out, and I've been chasing a CryptoPunk ever since, which is just ridiculous. But yeah, I definitely I held my ape to the top, so who knows? I could have probably held CryptoPunks to the top as well, but I don't think I had learned enough lessons in the space yet to actually be able to do that.
Yeah, it's a tough space, that's for sure. For me, I've held everything to the bottom, but my wallet's littered with it.
Yeah, I think all of ours are, right? Don't check my hidden folder because it's a graveyard of 3 years of trash. But Burn displays it proudly though.
But I display. Mine's proud too. I don't hide any of them. I've got my 27 Floyd Mayweathers from Floyd's World. I've got my Cash Demons.
Man,
that's a good one right there.
We should do a segment on the show sometime where we just pull up hidden folders and just reminisce over the good times of watching shit collapse.
Definitely do that. Yeah. So you said that you guys have the God Apes that are going to start minting next week. Yes. If somebody that was listening to this wanted to kind of get involved, kind of let us know how they would be able to do that.
Yeah, sure. The easiest way is there's a community run space every day, 3:30 p.m. Eastern, called the Alpha Bull Show, and then every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, there's Tankonomics Tuesday, where we go through the gamification and the strategy. Those are the two best ways to learn about the gamification. So the God Apes, it's not a mint. Like, you're not throwing down ETH. You know, you've got to play the game in order to get to level up to get to a God Ape.
Gotcha.
So it's not, you know, there's no ETH out of pocket for it, for the actual God Ape. It's not for sale. But you go through the different phases, and you're able to level up and get to a God Ape. So the community's been playing for 12 weeks already. So it's been going on for 12 weeks. So there's a bunch of people that are all ready to go. I got one community member has enough assets for 40 God Apes, I think.
Wow.
So there's
And
1,000 God Apes in total.
How big is your community right now?
So, I mean, officially, you know, the number of holders is about 1580 or something like that.
Okay.
But realistically, there's between 200 and 300 people who are, you know, actively engaged, actively playing the game. You know, we monitor all the activity on the website. We have 800 wallets that are active on a monthly basis on the website. And between 200 and 300, I'd say, are actively, you know, pursuing the God Apes.
I think those are good numbers, man, especially in this market. I know it's not just solely a Web3 play, because you guys are investing in things that are outside of Web3. But I think that just shows the power of like combining Web3 with also Web2 and other avenues that people can be interested in long term. Because as you can probably tell, like in this market, you know, if you were just solely Web3 based, all of those projects have, for the most part, you know, tanked. And so keeping a community around can be very difficult. So I applaud you for, you know, 800 active wallets a month is pretty good for what's going on right now. I mean, I think the last numbers that I've heard is there's only like 4,000, 5,000 active wallets in the NFT space. So the fact that you got 1/4 or 1/5 of them actively participating in your community, I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad, and those numbers, the 4,000 to 5,000, a little bit misleading, right? Because there are people that are
Sure.
active in projects, but they're not just actively trading.
Right.
And so it's you know, for these 800, they're taking actions on our website, but they're not necessarily buying and selling and trading the NFTs. But they're going to the
Right.
website, they're collecting methane, they're looking at their collections, they're leveling up, you know, in our ecosystem. You know, that they're not, those, a lot of those numbers aren't showing up in the 4,000 to 5,000.
Right. No, that totally makes sense. That's interesting, man. I'm definitely gonna have to look into the project more. I definitely like that. Burn will never be able to invest because he's never got 3,000 just sitting in his pocket. But
No, I do frequently. I just get rid of it within a day. I'm like, I'm gonna stack some money this time, and then I don't know. I don't even know.
I
Where it
like
goes.
the thing I like the best about this is like if you invest, there's no exit, right? There's no exit until there's an outcome, and that might be perfect for you, Burn, because then you can't get your money back. You can't like spend it on something else.
That's true. And the return potential, I'd imagine, is pretty massive if you hit a home run.
I mean, home runs are 40x, 50x, easy. You know, those are the home runs. But you know, there's a number that go to 0 too. So,
what would you say the
absolutely.
percentage chance of hitting a home run is? I know you can't. You probably don't have a percentage, but if you had to put a percentage on that,
you know, if you're disciplined with the selection criteria that we laid out, and we are, and that's why we curate them, and so you don't have to go through that. It increases your percentage quite a bit, because if you get, and not all of our deals hit all 5 of those selection criteria. Some hit 3, some hit 4, but if you hit all 5 of those, you know, your percentage is going up pretty darn high. I'm not going to put a percentage number on it, because
Smart man.
my community is going to hold me to that then, and I don't have control over that kind of stuff. But
Sure. No, and I think that's smart. Like it sounds like you guys you know, did it the legal way. I'm not a lawyer, but like having each person invest their own money, and you're bringing them the opportunity and you're educating them a little bit about the deal, but that's kind of the end of it. I think that's really, really smart.
oh yeah, we've had 3 different law firms that we've been working with to get all this set up. we have a corporate council, we have crypto council, and we have an offshore council, just to make sure that we're looking at things across the board. So yeah, we took that very, very seriously.
Well,
That's
in
good.
light of the SEC starting to sue projects, I think that's very, very smart, and it's good to hear a founder say that, because as a community member, you can rest assured that at least you're operating based off of legal counsel, which is needed in this space at the moment.
And it's not cheap, right?
No.
And it slows you down, and you gotta
Yeah.
go through the hoops. But hey, look, we're in a risky environment to begin with. You want to take a little bit of that risk out.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so I know that you said you might have to drop around the half an hour mark. Are you good, or
Yeah, I
should
just
we
might
wrap
have to
it
turn
up
my
for you?
camera off. That's all.
Gotcha.
Cool. So my question is, so how do you guys generate revenue for the project for yourselves? Because obviously you're putting in a ton of work, and trading fees are no longer a thing. So how do you guys generate revenue?
No, you're exactly right. So one of the things that we had a large team to build the ecosystem that we built. Just recently, we just announced that we're moving away from paid staff, and so we're going really scrappy, bootstrapped. We're sharing some of the equity with some of the key team members, and that's how we're going to drive it until we get into more of a revenue positive situation. So at the moment, I don't have a direct answer on it. Honestly, we put a loot box mechanism in place where we have common, epic, and legendary loot boxes. The idea was that in better market conditions, there's new entrants coming into the project. People are excited about opening up these loot boxes, because the loot boxes drive how you can configure the apes, because the apes are dynamic. And our community was very excited about it at the beginning, but those kind of things wear off. And without new entrants coming in, there's no more revenue out of that. So that was our Web3 approach to revenue. We've got some ideas on what we're going to do to, right now with the VC deal flow, all of this is us bringing Web2 opportunities to the Web3 community. But there's a whole way of us tapping into the VC community and providing value and generating revenue through that community as well. So we have a few ideas on what we're going to do as we go into the new year, but right now our focus is cutting costs and making sure that we can keep sustaining the community through the bear market and getting to a bull market.
Yeah, it seems like the VC deal flows, you can keep going without needing to expend a lot of capital, right?
Oh, absolutely. And the gamification, we built the whole ecosystem. We've got the formulas, the achievements. We can have campaign after campaign for our community, keeping them engaged on the gamification, keeping the VC deal flow going. Look for our opportunities. So we're focusing a lot now on partnerships that we might have overlooked over the past 18 months. And we're kind of re-engaging on different partnerships that we can do, ways to blow out the IP. We have a trading card game that's completely developed and play tested, but we never really went to production on it. We're going to look at can we leverage Kickstarter or something like that to really get that kind of those pieces of IP out there. So we've got a lot of the nuts and bolts. Again, our focus is by the end of this month we're cutting all paid staff, and then moving forward with the new model, and then looking at all the nuts and bolts we have, and figuring out what's the best way for us to generate revenue with them.
Yeah, because you're not getting any revenue off of the exits, right? Because those deals are direct.
No.
So that's
not at
hard.
all. Yep.
I applaud you, and obviously you guys have a business background, so runway is everybody's biggest conversation in the background right now. Me and Bern were just talking about this the other day, and so the cuts are necessary to kind of stay alive in this environment, but if you can build and position yourself in the right place for when things come back around, you could be really successful. There's always this argument that like the attention will be at what's new and shiny and not what's old. But if you can be light years away, because I think what we found out in the last bull is like, people could build stuff in like 3 weeks to 3 months, but when they drop it there's a lot of gaps, there's a lot of holes, and usually it's not ready. And so taking advantage of something that's been tested and improved upon during this market and being ready for when the bull comes back, I think, it's the best chance that you have to beat out the new projects that'll be, coming into the space, especially with something so unique as what you guys are offering.
And that's the approach exactly you're talking about. On the VC deal flow front, we have one deal flow channel coming in now. What if we have 5 deal flow channels coming in by time the bull comes back? The gamification, we've done 2 campaigns already. What if we do 5 campaigns by time the bull comes back, and we have it completely dialed in on, what's the right approach for there being small holders, large holders, and figuring out that balance? Because you can imagine there's a big disparity between someone who owns 1 bull and is generating meth, what kind of game they could play, versus someone who owns 100 bulls and is generating meth for each bull. And so right now we have a single flow game pipeline. We're planning on, as we go to the next campaigns, having multiple pipelines so that we're touching small holders, medium-sized holders, and large holders, and everyone feels like they can play the game. And so getting that dialed in ahead of a bull market that comes in, and now everyone's talking about how exciting the game is for all levels. That's what we believe is going to be our advantage.
Yeah, not only that, but like imagine that, one of those investment IPOs and your community makes a bunch of money. They'll be out there,
Sure.
Cheerleading you on, and that'll drive a lot of traffic your guys' way. So I think it's really smart, man. I like what I'm hearing from you guys. Bern, you got any more questions?
No, I mean, you had me at meth. As soon as I heard meth, I was like, I'm in, man. That's one of my favorite things in the world.
Got to get your fix.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, quick question on that. You guys, do you have a liquidity pool for your meth that you've established?
No. That, again, we followed very strict legal guidelines on it. No liquidity pool. We actually sell meth on our website, but it's fixed price. We've got a recirculation process in place where people use the methane, but then they're being rewarded more methane as they use it. So, you look at the SEC requirements around tokens. There has to be unlimited supply and fixed price. And so we've got a white, I call it a white paper, but it's a legal document really on how we approach methane on the website that was fully approved by legal, so that we make sure that we're taking the right approach and it's not considered a security token.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, it's that's encouraging for sure. Yeah, man, I didn't have any other questions. 21, you want to go first?
All right. So this is part of the show where we rate projects. I think you guys are offering something that a lot of the other projects aren't, which is, a business background, here building it out in the proper way with legal advice, and are uniquely positioned for, when the market comes back. In a lot of ways, your community could start to see a lot of success, which is going to be a huge driver for new traffic to your community. And then having the time to kind of dial in these gamification mechanics and have an idea while you're looking at like runway costs and like what you need to do as a company to be able to sustain until the market turns around. So for me, it's a really high bar. It's really unique. Like, I love the simplicity of it. Not that, like, your website looks really well done, and the gamification, obviously we didn't go through it, that could have nuances to it. But what I mean is, like, you launch an NFT, your members buy them, then they get access to a token gated Discord, and then all the magic happens behind that Discord. That's not really hard to operate. There's not a lot of things to go wrong in that. So for me, I think it's solid 8.5. Actually, I'm actually really interested in parking some money. So I'm gonna take a look at your guys' project a little bit more and see if I can have an opportunity to get involved.
Excellent, thank you.
Good score. Yeah, I agree with 21. I mean, the main value to me is clearly the exposure to the VC deals. The gamification and all that is cool, and the math that keeps all the impatient degens involved, which is good. But I think anyone who's looking for actual value would get into this simply for the VC opportunities. If you have any capital at all that you're looking to invest, why not, right? Like, I mean, you got to take some risks, and I think VC is a good risk. Non-financial advice, everybody. But getting into some of these deals is, it's a great opportunity. I am also interested in this, so I'm going to look around. I might go in your Discord and take a look. I've seen these around too, so I mean, it's a pretty popular project. I really like the fact that you guys are still here. Like, you don't have to be working like this. You're not generating revenue for yourself, but you're still here. We're showing up for your community and working and keeping it running and finding ways to keep it engaging as well, which is impressive. You're one of the very, very, very few 5% that are still doing that. I think it's more like 1%. So, big props on that. But yeah, man, I love it. I think just the gamification is cool and all that, but I mean, I'm interested simply for the VC opportunities. So I'm going to give you an 8.51, which is one better than 21. He's a little harder on our guests. So I wanted to give you that score, which is a really good score. And I'm going to look into this as well, because sometimes I have money and maybe I'll invest it into a VC deal instead of just eating it into whatever shitcoin or whatever I come across. So I like it.
Also, something I didn't mention that you mentioned at the beginning is like they're also investing in these deals like personally. So they're involved. They're not just like, hey, we've evaluated these deals, let's give them to the community. Like, they themselves as the founders are actually investing in them as well, which puts a little bit more skin in the game. And they're almost being philanthropic, right? They're finding these deals that they invest in, and then they're letting their community know about it, which I think is great. You can all win together, or you can all go to zero together. So I'm sure everybody's excited about either one of those propositions.
We're in it together.
I like it. Yeah, man. Well, yeah, Anthony, thanks for coming on. Do you have anything else that you wanted to share before we cut it loose?
No, I appreciate you having me on the show. It was great chatting with you guys. I'm glad we got a chance to talk.
Good stuff, man. Appreciate it. And I'm going to be looking into this more. So I like it. Thanks for coming on. We know you're busy.
Yeah,
we
man,
appreciate
thanks.
your time.
Thank you.
All right, later, man.
All right, short and sweet. I like it.
Yeah. To where it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Like, do an hour for the sake of doing an hour.
No, fuck that. It's Friday, man. People gotta get out. They gotta go. I'm going to a concert tonight. I'm closing this laptop, answering a few more emails, and then I'm out.
What concert are you going to? Nickelback or?
I wish it was fucking Nickelback. It's some yacht rock bullshit, but I'm gonna get drunk, so it doesn't matter.
Yacht rock bullshit. I love it, man. Yeah, I mean, getting drunk will make it well worth it. I kind of want to take a nap. I might do that, but I doubt that's gonna happen because
you need it. You look like you need a nap, man. You look like you were like cutting down trees and shit.
I might do that tomorrow. We're still live,
trees?
but yeah, we'll just keep this going. Yeah, I might, because our land is like almost clear. The dude's knocking down trees, so I go out there with a chainsaw and help him chop them up. Then he shoves them into burn pile.
I'm gonna reserve my excitement for when you pour a foundation. When you pour foundation, I'll get super pumped, man.
ETH to 10K, and it's gonna happen, man. That's all we need. It's
all right. So 4 years from now, you'll be laying a foundation. I like it. Good plan.
Paying cash for the house, baby. That's the plan. No, I'll probably start before then, but yeah. Yeah. Thanks. Bye, everybody. End stream. Later. Peace.